All right, hello, everybody. Yo, where's my lights? It's not gonna make sense if anyone's listening like through audible means only. Hi everybody, welcome to the DangIT Prodcast. It's been episode 476. It is, and it's also October. Hello everybody. How's everyone doing? Everyone's starting it off pretty strong as far as like getting things prepared. October is just a favored month for a lot of folks. A lot of spooky times. It's not my favorite. I'm going to be real honest. Also, just want to make sure that all the tiles are good. Everything seems to be good, but looks like it's well for the moment right now. It's going to be like a solo cast. That's totally okay. I couldn't have done it last time because I was just what was going on last time. I think it was really tough for me personally because um I was just kind of going through some like stuff. I think I was like pseudo sick. Oh, you know what? No, it's because of the booster shot. I'm totally okay from that, by the way. But I've been having to deal with like all these like episodic itchy problems. I'm just getting over one. Well, I'm currently going through one like right now, but everything's good on my end. I know that there's a lot of stuff as far as content I need to kind of like push through. A lot of Pokemon stuff actually. I don't know if anyone really knows about this, but I pretty much have been like making a lot of short form content in the form of Pokemon, and a lot of it involves Scarlet and Violet, the trading card game as well. I've been loving opening up these booster packs and whatnot, and actually, what came in today was part of the new set, which is the Scarlet and Violet 151. Pretty much just a compilation of the original 151 Pokemon uh, in this and that's important because of the fact that obviously with each expansion they usually will try to introduce Pokemon specifically from the newer generation and a couple older ones like in the mix, but this one was specifically just like a nice look back at the 151. And they know that nostalgia sells, so they had this whole ultra premium collection. I haven't gotten one of these since like the Charizard thing, like maybe like a year or two ago. But I ordered this one through the Pokemon Center. I was actually concerned about whether or not I'd be able to get this because it was ordered under my older card, and since Evo, that card actually. It's funny that I mentioned Evo because I'm wearing one of the Evo shirts I got, but or at least Evo related shirts that I got, but it actually came in just fine. I might need to check on the charge on the card to see if it went through like correctly because it would kind of suck if it somehow went onto an older card and obviously like trigger something. Nothing yet though, knock on wood. But there was also that got delivered. Also, I stopped by GameStop today, and whatchamacallit, my GameStop actually were giving out like these little bags here, these tote bags, Halloween horror themed. But I actually pre-ordered the Zapdos EX collection, Alakazam EX collection, both from the same like expansion as well. But I guess I'll be opening those up later tonight through Twitch. So if you're watching it live, stay tuned for that. But yeah, no, it's it's gonna be a lot. I think I'm just gonna dedicate like an entire stream night just for that. But I also I also haven't really done too much like game like related like content over on like Twitch because it's just been a week. It's been a weird week. Like I Sunday we didn't do anything. We pretty much were filming stuff for Tanuki. I'll talk about that actually in a little bit. Because this is actually the month in which we'll actually get started with a lot of Tanuki content. But on Monday, I pretty much wanted to just kind of get started. Like Twitch wise, was just simply sitting down talking about what the plan is. October's just not really a strong month for me as far as like making like horror themed content. Although I guess we really should because it really is just it's part of the algorithm. And it's also like a fun little thing if you wanted to just try that too. But I don't know. A lot of my stuff, like as far as like games I'm interested, doesn't really fall within that. And I always joke about this, but the only like horror related thing I could probably like get with, as far as like a joke, if anything, is to look at like third part like third party market prices for like old and retro game stuff. Oh my god, Path of Radiance! Ah, Raining Dawn! Ah, okay, that's not as bad. That wasn't much of a scare. But yeah, October's not like the strongest month. But I am totally down if like any of the guys are like available. I know that Phil is not actually available for the month. That boy's busy for the month of October. He's got anniversaries, he's got like birthdays, he's got horror like nights settled, like planned out. And when it comes to Anaya, well, I'll check in with him, see what he's down with, because essentially we did our recording on Sunday, and that's going to be part of our stuff. I think he's taking care of like a lot of editing on that front, and I still got to work on like my own stuff, um, including something that's coming up actually, Switch OLED's birthday actually. Do I have it here? Yeah. How old is the Switch OLED? The Switch OLED's like about. I'm actually opening up right now. The Switch OLED came out in 2021, so it's about to become like 2 years old or something like that. But yeah, I it's funny that like that this weekend as well. I believe I think it's coming out, or it's either available to like order now or pre-order. But the Mario Red edition of the Switch OLED. So if you guys remember, a while back they actually did another Mario Red version, and I gotta say it was actually pretty impressive. The only thing that like I didn't really like about that bundle was the fact that it was the OG like Nintendo Switch, so it had the bezels to deal with, but the Switch OLED, better screen, is kind of lacking in comparison, especially with what it doesn't come with. It doesn't have like its own like Mario themed case or anything like that. It feels like there's less like decorations on the red. The dock is pretty cool, but a lot of the cool decorations on that like are actually like inside the Nintendo Switch versus like something like the Tears of the Kingdom one, which is actually a really sick design. Also, the Splatoon 3 one is like another one of my favorites, and I mean I'm pretty down with the Scarlet and Violet one, but I'm just like I can't do any more of that. Listen, if we as a group couldn't like all agree to like split our funds into like a Switch OLED, I'd be 100% down. If anything, is so I can like spend less and then just make the video. Albeit though, I could still make the video regardless. It just kind of sucks where like I think my area of Tanuki, which is like accessories and whatnot, it gets limited to like how much I can like really consciously in good in good conscience like afford. The next thing I'd probably look into is probably either the whatchamacallit, the one that satisfies like Zen Grip Ronin, I believe, and then what was it? I forget what they call it. But essentially it's a whole like dock holder for like the Switch. Yeah, that's the best way I can really describe it right now because I totally am blanking on the name. But I'm sorry. I literally just like kind of went on the tangent over there. Well, there's a bunch of stuff to also talk about and like make content for. I talked about Pokemon, talked about like Tanuki. I think for this podcast, I can talk a little bit about like the new seasonal anime that's coming out like this like since yesterday and even today. Spy Family is coming out with another season. One of my favorites is like the Rising of the Shield Hero is also coming out. Goblin Slayer has been like something I've been kind of curious as far as the development there. I watched an episode like this morning on that one. There's a couple other stuff as well. But I haven't really watched everything because I'm still stuck in that like whole loop of like I want to make some like anime like form content, but I just don't know like if I can really push forward with it because there's just so much on my plate as it is. So I might actually have to just kind of give away with that, and it's just been so hard to let go. Like as a content creator, if you don't really have an exact like niche like established or at least something you want to go for, and you just end up kind of spreading yourself out to all these different works just to see what like kind of lands, what sticks. But other than that, I've just been experimenting, thinking about stuff. I've been thinking about actually I've been talking about other streams, but for the sake of the podcast, I've been thinking about getting another camera. Like this camera, by the way, is perfect. Like honestly, at a certain point, like if you do content creation, especially if you're, just like a streamer, you don't have to like, well, this goes for any type of like platform or like type of content you decide to make, but you don't have to always get like the craziest like camera or the greatest mic in the world. Whatever just sounds clean, you can definitely work with it. And I feel like the Sony like A6600, which is the camera that we're using right now, or even like I guess the younger sibling, I believe. The or it could have been like another line series like along with it, but it was the 86400. Those cameras work just fine. But I've been thinking about getting other bits of camera gear for the sake of really just trying to make content here and there. But I would love to make some kind of form factor as far as a camera rig or whatnot, so I can like maybe like film in different like locations here and there, like in the house or even like outside. And honestly, like I don't really need to do that. Like this camera by itself can just like run around and like record stuff, and like the quality is just like good as it is. But I don't know. I haven't really like thought too much about it. This is much more of a recent thought where, in order to like make some really cool stuff, I've been looking into like doing more B-roll stuff. And honestly, maybe the best thing you could do is just like get your camera and like start pointing it at stuff. Obviously it doesn't look great like when you like see it from here, but honestly, like once you get like proper lighting and whatnot, if you just hold the camera still, then it's actually pretty good. Also, actually, you know what? I gotta give shout outs like as far as like Apple like stuff. One of the new like updates is the fact that like when you're in like either photo or video mode, it actually creates there's a whole line that is generated in the center that tells you like if your camera is like leveled as far as like how you're holding it. So right now I'm holding it at like a little soft like off angle, but if I just tilt it a little bit, the lines will like intersect and they'll like turn yellow and then they'll fade away, which means like it's leveled at that point. There was also a little bit where if you point downwards, it knows that and it'll just create crosshairs. But that's like one of the older bits about that. Still a really cool thing though, for sure. And I think at that point, like maybe it's just better off just to like just maybe experiment with more like B-roll stuff by just filming like from your camera. That's my only like little bit that I wanted to offer up for anyone who's like curious about making content. Just try to use your camera, your phone camera, any camera that you got. Honestly, no matter like how crappy like the visuals may be, audio is that's kind of difficult. I think audio is like so important. That's why I always like try to focus on this and that and this and that. I to talk to you a little bit more about like our experience filming on Sunday with Tanuki. I pretty much took care of like the entire like set as far as like the camera placement, the mic setup and placements there. Although it could have been a lot better. I wasn't prepared for that one. Um, and also doing a lot of filters. OBS is like fantastic. It's a free little bit of software that you can like download, and it's become much more advanced to the point where audio filters can like really help boost like certain aspects of your like mic that can use a little bit of work. So there's currently something going on with this setup, and honestly, I should probably consider that whenever I think about like my camera rig and whatnot. If I could just like apply those same types of filters on it, but that's difficult. I think about what type of mic would be used like on a place that isn't just like me being placed like right here, and something like that could just be like in the other room or something like that. But yeah. Sorry, I keep talking about like my thoughts about like the camera sets and whatnot, and you know what? I think it's nice that I'm kind of excited about that too. But there's been a bunch of other stuff that's been going on as well. We might save a little bit of the anime stuff like later on. I don't have too much to talk about when it comes to that, but um, I did want to talk about this real quick. It's about an interview. What was it? It was a Japanese publication. Nintendo president Shintaro Furukawa. He was talking about supporting the Nintendo Switch up until the end of 2025 financials, like, or the financial year 2025, and that is pretty much up until like March of 2025. So that does line up with like what we've been talking about as far as like this the support of the Nintendo Switch, as well as the release dates of the more current announced games. I think There's a couple of them, but one of the ones that stand out the most as far as like us not having an actual release date, but just more over just 2024. It's Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, the one that got announced for a remake actually in the last Nintendo Direct. And there's also like Luigi's Mansion that's kind of closer. That's kind of summer 2024. But the fact is that there's a bunch of new like Switch game. Well, may not a bunch per se. Yeah. Aside from like the third parties who and indie devs who want to like release games on Nintendo Switch, that's fine. But as far as like the first party stuff, we're not really seeing a lot of games as of yet. Mainly because of the fact that we're still kind of focusing on this year. But it'll be interesting to see like maybe another Nintendo Direct in like February or March, talking about games that are being released up until like summertime, and then around July or something like that, even like the following September, just see like what other games, if not like new hardware, might get announced. So we'll see. We'll see how things play out. Otherwise, October's a pretty big year as far as Nintendo Switch. Super Mario Wonder, obviously, like it's the newest Mario platformer coming out, and I totally forgot the release date. Straight up. But it's gonna be released around the same week as Sonic Superstars, so that's a interesting coincidence. But actually, I'm gonna go ahead and look up. Yeah, I'm just gonna look it up right here. Oh, October 20th. Oh my God! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, no. I I totally forgot about it. So I didn't even think about it. But so wait, Mario Wonder comes out on the 20th, which I mean, like, sure, that's great, but that's also TwitchCon, bro. Like, and apparently, yeah, the only thing I remember of like TwitchCon is the fact that what was it, Tekken actually has a beta. I don't know if I'm gonna be playing the Tekken beta, but I know Naya will be. But I think he's gonna be sad about the fact that like he might miss that opportunity because he's going with TwitchCon with me. Speaking of which, I guess we should also talk about TwitchCon as well. I'm looking forward to it. And that's pretty much it. No, I make a lot of financial decisions, and then yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit. But Super Mario Brothers Wonder, uh, I've been hearing that people have been able to play like a demo of it at kiosk, like over like at Target and whatnot, mainly Target from what I've seen. But interesting, people like been posting like some like gameplay mechanics, some screenshots of like different animations and everything like that. I think the two that like popped up into mind is the fact that someone posted a screenshot of Luigi. I think he just got like the fire flower in this case, but he has like the hardest like pose in that shot, and I was like, "Yo, what is going on?" He also is he's very angry when he's just like when he's running, when he's I'm not sure when he's jumping, but like he's kind of an angry boy in this one. I'm curious to see like what the I guess the voice direction for Luigi is in this game, because I believe it's going to be like a whole different cast, right? Where like obviously Mario's different, Luigi's going to be different. All the other characters should probably be remotely the same, but Charles Martinet, not touching any of the voice acting like in this iteration of Mario. So yeah, I'm curious about that. There was another one that stood out as well. Was the fact that someone recorded a bit of footage. It's funny because in context he would talk about like there was a child screaming, so it took me a couple times to record this. But he posted somewhere on Twitter/X that obviously Goombas in the game will just kind of fall asleep. They'll just be asleep, and then they won't really wake up until like maybe you get close or you make a lot of noise or whatnot. But during that time that they're asleep too, like when they're just being like abruptly awoken, you bump into them and they don't do any damage to you. But once they're out of that awakened animation, then it'll actually like they'll actually hurt you on contact, which is something I didn't even think about, because obviously when you touch an enemy it hurts, and they're making that distinction that like, hey, you think they would hurt if you just touch them even when they're sleeping, but in this case you just kind of bump into them. So interesting. It's an interesting thing that I decided to do with that one. It's a very minor thing, though. But I'm curious, regardless, as to how the game's going to shape up. It looks super duper polished. So I'm just kind of looking forward to just seeing people's receptions on it, and me actually trying it out. I would love to do like some multiplayer stuff with it, but we'll see how that plays out. We'll definitely see how that plays out because that really is like that's on the weekend. And it'd be cool if we could do it with Phil, but we're not entirely sure if that's gonna work out. But if Phil was hosting the stream on that like Friday or something like that, and we were able to coordinate a little bit with him, and we just had our Switch like at the hotel room while like he like hosts the party, I think we can kind of do it. We can't like physically interact with each other, but we'll be ghosts in the stream. And I would say the only issue we would have is just simply, um, kind of finding a means to like share our voice like with them. I guess, lack of better words. Yeah, like I'm thinking about it because I'm in this interesting situation where like I've been wanting to use the iPad a little bit more just to kind of help connect things as far as like audio recordings, make it part of like content creation. And honestly, if I could just like make it connect to stuff like even like the whole mic setup that I got going on here, or just have it be like uh, essentially part of the capture like process. That's why I kind of like funded that one thing. I don't even know if I talked about it, but I've supported since I kind of heard a little bit more about it, which is the Shadowcast stuff. I'll talk a little bit more about that maybe as we get closer to that, but I think we can make that work. Yeah, we can make that work. Yeah, especially if we can just like have this guy connect to mics from over here. Yeah, we can make it work. I had to really think about that as far as like TwitchCon. I guess we could talk about TwitchCon actually. So I went to TwitchCon. The first time I went to TwitchCon was October of last year. So it's almost been an entire year since then. And at that time, it was actually at San Diego. Um, I I pretty much was I pretty much planned on going there solo. Like, that's when I heard that a mutual friend of myself and Seffi's is going there. Had went there as or was planning to go there as well, and it was actually staying at Seffi's place. I still had like my own like room, like a hotel and whatnot, but essentially I just meet up with them. So it wasn't really that much of like a lonely experience. So, but whenever I was kind of like acting on my own, I was definitely just going to booth and just checking out all the cool stuff. And that time, I just kind of wanted to see what was there. That's kind of all I wanted to do. Sorry, I just wanted to check in on stuff here. Yeah, just checking messages in case anyone wants to jump in. I think Phil wanted to jump in while he's setting some things up, but we haven't really heard from him on that one. But you know, if they really wanted to jump in, they'll let me know. They'll let me know. But yeah, when I was at TwitchCon last year, one, it was nowhere near as crowded as like Comic Con. Believe it was like a fraction of that. There was a whole like vacant area of just like a place where you can like redeem slash like buy your tickets, and the rest of it was just like a bunch of like pre-established like walkways. But for the most part, it was just like you just walk through the maze without any stops whatsoever, and you just go in. And then another portion of it was like another portion of the convention center was cut off and devoted towards Twitch rivals. It was a pretty cool arena. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, it was pretty small. So I'm not sure if the change in venues is to like one kind of ease off of I guess maybe like the pricing that is required to just even like rent out the convention center in San Diego. But with Vegas, I've never been to that particular convention center itself. The one that we went to was the Mandalay like Bay like area convention center, and that's relatively small in comparison, but it was also pretty sizable too. That was Evo though, so I'm not sure about this other one in Vegas. It's not too far off from Mandalay actually, so we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. I'm kind of curious as to like who's gonna be there. Obviously, like as someone who like loves like equipment stuff, um, I'm definitely gonna probably check out Elgato and slash Corsair and see what they got going on here. Hey, listen, I got the stuff, dude. I'm ready. Like whenever they want to drop like a product, I'm like I'm in if it makes sense for my setup. You know what is good? I would love to actually have like the table, the desk that they got going on there. I don't know when they're gonna release that out there to the public as far as what, you know, the date of that, but I'm totally in it because I've been using this desk setup for a couple years now. Honestly, it feels like time's flown by, but this desk setup is pretty good. My only issue is that I've been accruing a lot of like stuff on this desk, so it's nowhere near as like spacious as I would like it to be, and spacious as in very spacious. But what was cool about like this Corsair like desk was the fact that like it was this like very like long stand up like desk, but it also had a whole like long pegboard with brackets and whatnot, like support things that are like super friendly to like just mounting like whatever stuff. So I can like mount all Elgato bits here, whether it just be, you know, um I would say whether it be the arm, whether it be like the lights, the two lights I have always on. It help with mounting my monitors as well. It's just like it would just take a lot of like the stuff that are just kind of like sitting at like the ground level of the desk and just kind of like elevate them. And I'm totally in for that 100%. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm just gonna save on trying to do anything else. I did entertain the idea of just like trying to make my own pseudo version of that by like looking into different types of mounts here and there. And I think at a certain extent it is possible to do that, but I'm not trying to really do that. Not yet. I've definitely gone through like a bunch of iterations here and there, like because I of this sound bar that I got like from a Black Friday like many years ago. It's still like my favorite like piece like in this entire room as far as like giving you like some pretty good sound. Um Mainly because it's a whole sound bar. I have to find ways to have that like kind of fit within the space. And the best way I found it possible was to like put it through um what do we call these? It's pretty much like it's a monitor riser. It's a very long monitor riser that still doesn't quite fit like my monitors and the stand that holds like this camera and a bunch of other stuff like hanging above it. So I don't know. I've experimented a little bit, and I have other bits of inspiration that I kind of wanted to follow through with, but my current kit, my setup over here has just been pretty filled up with not just, you know, the monitors and all the mounts and whatnot, but also the consoles and computers that are like on the other side here. And it's gonna be crazy to see how this like place is gonna change up. But what I've always really liked was the Pacific like camera setup that I got going on right now. Just like what people can see on this front. I think I love the idea of just the camera looking onward to you versus like looking down, although that's not a bad thing either, for sure. So much so I've been thinking about getting another like webcam that can like do 60 frames and be placed somewhere for sure. Yeah, no. Actually, you know what? If they might actually be there, although I might need to check up their like social media stuff, but I've been kind of looking into the Insta360's like webcam. I forget if they I forget the name for it, but it's pretty good. I guess this is what it's called. Yeah, it's the Insta360 Link webcam. Depending on where you can like find it, it's like about it kind of it's like baseline like market price for like $300. So it's like but it's way better than like trying to get another one of these guys, which is like over like 1.5k. One of them is actually 2k, so I'm like no. Whoa, did I just whoa, I just saw that. Did anyone just see that? That was a visual thing I just saw. Like I think the camera like stuttered or the capture kind of stuttered. So like when I made that quick like face, it was demented. I apologize if you saw that because that's kind of scary. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh boy. Whoa. Sorry, I was looking at this. So the Insta360 link might actually be part of the Prime Day deal stuff. So that's actually kind of, it's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, ooh. Yeah, I might just like look into that because what's really cool about that Insta360 is the fact that it actually tracks like your face. So it doesn't have to just simply like look at you like from here, be like a stationary camera like this, but you can like move it around and it'll just kind of follow you like depending, and you can actually do like hand gestures to get that set up, and it will it'll either like start or stop tracking you. So that's actually really cool. And of course, when you're done with it, you turn it off and it'll just kind of like point downwards and then turn off. So pretty good. There's a standalone plus an official sticker bit. What? There's a tripod kit though. Um, I'm curious about that. Very curious about that. Sorry. Sorry, I'm actually looking at like potential stuff to like invest in. But I also have like a bunch of other like camera kit stuff I can totally use too. I have a bunch of like these Canon uh camcorders, which is I think the camcorders are like literally perfect if you just if all you want to do is just like have like very like specific like sets and whatnot. So I mean I'd be down for that too. I just haven't been using them at all, which is kind of sad because the quality that they output is still like really good, but I think they get overshot by just a lot of like convenient like pieces of like tech and whatnot that can pretty much give you like sharper images and give you a means to like be able to edit that like or send this to the appropriate like editing software real quick. So that's my only like I think that's the only downside to this kind of stuff. It's just like it's like some of the old camera gear that you have can still be used, but the way you would want to like get that established is kind of eh eh. But you know, sorry, that was a very long tangent. I think that stemmed from TwitchCon and me just like totally down to like buy whatever. To be honest, I'm hoping to see some other like I guess other like parties that do like software related stuff as far as like streaming stuff. That'd be great, to be honest. So, yeah, I'll definitely be like doing that for a hot minute, like on the floors wherever like TwitchCon's at, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to that. I wanted to look at like Sonic Superstars real quick. Superstars. Let me actually go over here just to double check everything. And no way, dude. Dude, Discord. That's funny that Discord's still like up for me. We were wow, we've been how long we've been talking for? Jesus. We've been doing it for a while. We've been doing it for a while. So Sonic Superstars comes out on the 17th. So not quite the 20th, the 17th. That's oh my god, dude. Honestly, like anyone like Phil specifically who's wanting to like stream through that game and then also like tune in for like Mario, you're gonna have to like play through Sonic Superstars like as fast as possible. I don't think it's gonna be a very long game per se because it's probably like a curated like handful of levels in here, whatnot, and the replay value comes into probably special stages, the Chaos Emerald stuff, clearing it with different characters, getting Chaos Emeralds for them too, because I literally did that for Sonic Mania, and I think that's kind of it. But I'm curious about the completionist like aspect of it. It Sonic Superstars does it definitely feels like it feels like akin to a Sonic Mania, but I think it kind of focuses more on like the party aspect. So I think it doubles up for that. So I think that's super cool. Oh, you know what other game comes out this month? Marvel Spider-Man 2, which is like it comes out the same day as Mario, which is the 20th. We'll be gone by then. Dude. Dude. from what I'm seeing, Marvel Spider-Man 2 is shaping up to be like a really good like PlayStation game for sure. Honestly, it's the same thing as like what was it, God of War Ragnarok, where you know that the initial game that they come out with is definitely trying to experiment with different things, and albeit there's different like lessons and experiences to have been like learned from each like entry. For Marvel Spider-Man, they had like Miles Morales as like an additional thing that was the first instance of seeing Spider-Man on the PlayStation 5 specifically, and now they have Marvel Spider-Man 2. So it's and that pretty much just takes all the mechanics from like OG's like Marvel Spider-Man and also Miles Morales, and now they're just like amping it up as much as they can because they already know what the template's supposed to be, and now they're just similar to God of War, and now they're just optimizing it as best as possible to give you like an even greater type of experience. So I'm super curious as like it's obviously gonna probably play the same, right? There's gonna be a couple of resources like from the previous game that you're probably gonna like recognize and be like, oh, okay. And I think it's just gonna give you a little bit of like a nostalgic feel as far as like, okay, well, this is what it was like when I was playing through it, like in what was it, 2018 or something like that, or maybe in like 2021 or whenever like PlayStation 5 came out and Miles Morales came out respectively. But yeah, I am super looking forward to that. I think there's some other October games that are to be released as well. I'm actually gonna check those out real quick. But I'll tell you something else while I'm looking into this. I actually beat a game. Actually, I actually cleared through like a game that I've been working on like in the backlog. I got like super curious about it because of the fact that another game got like really high like regards upon its release. That was from Sea of Stars. I actually played The Messenger actually, and I played through it. It took me about like, I guess as a total, it looks like it took me like 13 hours to like clear through that game. That was great. that was I I didn't really have much expectations for The Messenger. I knew it was like a really fantastic game, according to people. So I didn't have any doubts about it. I just didn't have any expectations about it myself as far as like playing through what seemed to be just the standard like platform bits. But I get it now. The Messenger makes you feel um like a traditional platformer, but also like it takes up like a bunch of different mechanics as you play through, so things get a little bit more intricate. The soundtrack's like super duper interesting. The fact that you transition from 8-bit to 16-bit, the music shifts too. Um, it turns into a Metroidvania in the middle of it, which I mean, people have mixed feelings. I think Phil definitely has spoken out as far as having mixed feelings about that. I can totally understand that. I still liked it, but I I would also have some gripes as well as far as the need to be able to access certain areas from different time periods and how those time periods specifically aren't so accessible to you depending on like how you approach it. That's the best thing I could probably like give out without like detailing too much. Essentially, like the way they traverse like in the Metrovania escape is to like actually just physically go there. And when you're working with these different maps, sometimes the warp points aren't exactly where you want them to be, so you end up like backtracking a lot. And sometimes you go through like the same environments over and over and over again. And there's just not like a really fast, convenient way to do that per se. Especially if you wanted to double check on that. There was a moment that I could talk about where I wanted to complete everything before like the foreseeable end of the game, but it turned out that end was not the foreseeable end, and that one collectible I needed to pick up wasn't something I could get right then and there. But it was after I do like the actual boss fight. So I went backtracked after I went through the entire level, because I was ignorant. I didn't see like the placement of like where I needed to go until I did, and I ultimately just wasted time, and I went through the entire like level twice without even needing to do that. It was kind of easy to go through ultimately, but it kind of sucked at the same time. Yeah, let me I'm using IGN right here to give me the release date of games here, so don't mind me. Oh man, there's a lot of them. All right, going through the listing of October games here. We got Disguise 7. That was October 3. Assassin's Creed Mirage came out a couple of days ago. Uh, that's pretty cool. I heard some pretty good things about Mirage actually, in the sense that it is like kind of your traditional like Assassin's Creed game, going back to the roots. But apparently there's not really too much like crazy about that. But ultimately, if you love the OG Assassin's Creed games, then that's probably the way to go. The Sisters 2 Road to Fame. Okay. Roblox for some reason that didn't release. Wild Card Football October 10th. River City Rival Showdown October 12th. I didn't know about that one actually. The Grinch Christmas Adventures. Oh, that's weird. Lords of the Fallen. Oh, Lords of the Fallen is oh shoot. Was that the kind of the survival horror but in medieval times? Or was it the another Souls-like game? I need to play Lies of P, by the way. I have to at this point. Lords of the Fallen. Let me just double check. I think if I saw like an image of it, I'll probably know exactly. Oops. I put Fords of the Fallen. Images aren't helping me. You know what? I think it is that you know what? Yeah. Here, I'm gonna just like look up some gameplay. Yeah, cool. Just gonna mute that real quick and just take a look-sees. Looking at trailer stuff, more trailer stuff. I need to see like the actual gameplay itself. You know, yeah, I think it pretty much is the Souls-like game for sure. Okay. Well, I think I've seen people play through like maybe a little bit more gameplay stuff about that, but that's pretty much it. But okay, all right, that's another one. Um, Endless Dungeon. Um, I guess I thought I just sworn I've heard like that one. Sorry, guys. I guess I'm gonna be the guy in the chair as well about this, because I think these games might also have like multi-platforms, and they're just getting releases on different types of places. Either that or Endless Dungeon never had a release. Because I could have sworn it was Endless Dungeon is that one from Sega, right? It is. Yeah. But I guess it never really had a release date to it. Interesting. Obviously Sonic Superstars on the 17th. Wizard with a Gun. I heard about that. I remember that. Hellboy, Web of Word. I think that's different title for that or different pronunciation. 18th of October. The 7th, Guess VR, PlayStation VR 2, October 19th. Was this Agatha Christie, Murder on the Orient Express? That's on the 19th of October. Gangs of Sherwood, October 19th. Gargoyles, remastered, October 19th. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, Turbocharge is on the 19th. Overpass 2, October 19th. Spider-Man 2, October 20th. City Skylines 2, October 24th. Cry Machina, okay, October 24th. Wait a minute. They don't have Mario in this listing. What the? I was like, wait, we passed that, didn't we? Yeah, that's weird. That's super weird. Um, Just Dance 2024. 24 October 24th. Oh, Metal Gear Solid the Master Collection Volume 1 is October 24th as well. Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord, that's PSVR 2, October 26th. Mineko's Night Market, that sounds familiar. Anyway, October 26th. Alan Wake 2 is October 27th. Headbangers Rhythm Royale is October 31st. So this is oh, you know what? This is like PlayStation's like stuff. In which case, like, wait, why is it just specifically like? Yeah, that's weird. Maybe I'll just like scroll through it and find it later on. No, this is all specifically PlayStation. That's weird. IGN, why'd you just do that? How about jump to Nintendo Switch? Oh, interesting. So they had the I guess the winter like slash fall well probably fall season in different seasons for like each and every platform just split off. So all right, fair enough. If you just want like a specific thing. So they also had Disguise 7. Oh, that gets a little weird as far as like the the overlays here. Let me see if I can find each one that is specifically each platform at that point. That I haven't like pointed out yet. So Silent Hope, October 3. That was the Marvelous one, right? I remember that. People are been getting like the different edition for that one, like this full bundle similar to I forget the game, but I have it like way over here. I just it's just like further buried there, so I don't feel like bringing it out. Detective Pikachu just came out like yesterday, October 6th. Let's see. Everything else has a similar thing for the Switch, except for Mario Wonder. That's October 20th. We talked about that. That's kind of it. Played Up, if anything, October 2023, but there's no actual physical like name for that. They've listed out a different bunch of like titles here too. But let's look at Xbox as well. Lamplighters League, October 3. Forza Motorsport, that's finally coming out on the 10th, so that's actually a couple of days from now. That's like literally next like Tuesday or something like that, I believe. Ah man, why couldn't they release like the day before that? We're working that day now. And that's kind of it on Xbox side. Xbox like shares a lot of like third party stuff, but as far as like things that you would actually see specifically for Xbox, it's definitely Forza Motorsport, which I've seen a bit of like the gameplay about that as far as like the visuals and stuff like that. It looks pretty clean. So I think that's pretty much it for the month of October. Yeah, no. So the ones I see that stand out like the most is Mario, Spider-Man, the third party, which is Sonic, and I guess Forza Motorsport as well. So that's kind of the listings that we got so far. I think that's pretty much it. And I think just to kind of like top on anything, oh, I guess I should probably give you guys like my like perspective on things here. Um, I think that I think Mario Wonder's gonna like definitely like be very successful for Nintendo Switch. I think Spider-Man 2 is obviously going to be like the biggest contender, and for Xbox they got Forza Motorsport, which um I mean I gotta see like what people feel about it, because I think like for me I'm just not very experienced in like looking into that type of game and just seeing like the improvements here and there, because I think they've got like physics down like down pat, but that's my personal perspective and opinion about that. And then all the other games I'm not entirely too sure about. I think Detective Pikachu unfortunately will just be like it I don't know. It kind of depends on like who you're talking to as far as that. But I think as a Pokemon game, it already looks pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie about that one. But as long as the story or slash gameplay kind of like weaves pretty well into all that, I think it could be a pretty well liked game. That's the best type of praise I can give you. It'll be a very well liked game for sure. But yeah, no, I think that's pretty much like my thoughts about like October as far as like games here. I don't know what I want to do as far as you know what I want to do like game. I guess Dang It Plays wise, because obviously that's something that I like to do here and there. We wrapped up on Final Fantasy 16 finally, as far as like getting the videos out there, and we're kind of almost done with Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom took a little bit longer for sure. But I definitely want to get another game out there, and I think it'd make sense if I did something that was kind of horror related. If anything, Liza P sounds like a really good idea for sure. But I don't know. It's been kind of tough for me personally, because I've been trying to juggle a bunch of other stuff for sure. So we will see. We shall see. In TLDR, I don't really have like the appropriate plan for it, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Last thing to kind of wrap things up here, we'll probably want to talk real quick about like seasonal anime bits here and there. So I already talked about earlier. We are entering a whole other like season of anime coming out like this weekend, and I don't have the exact listings, but I will give you what I have seen like already, and that was with the third season of I totally blanked out there. Rising with Shield Hero. Um, so I watched a little bit that one. That first episode's pretty good, I would say, as far as just like the pacing and exactly trying to set up the premise of like the current season. This just showed up here, I think, just today. But Spy Family's like next season. I definitely want to just kind of tune in for that one. Um, and whatchamacalls it? Goblin Slayer came back in or came back up again. But that was kind of the only ones I've seen so far. I think there's like a Paladin one. It looks kind of familiar. The Faraway Paladin seems very very familiar. Like I've seen this like work before, but I think they've definitely had enough just to like go for like another season. So very nice, very nice. Um, I think that's it. I think that's kind of it as far as like what I could see. Sorry guys, I'm not at all like well versed, like, and not really in that position where I'll be talking like huge about anime. Although I guess we should probably open up like our gates to that as far as like content for Dang It specifically when it comes to anime. It's been a long time coming. It's just a matter of like where we fit that into like the schedule of things. So we'll see. We'll see things how things like pan out with that one. But I think that's kind of all I wanted to bring up. But yeah, guys, I think oh, actually I just noticed. Um No, actually, I'm right here. Oh, hi. There we go. I was like, where did I go? That's so crazy, dude. We've been at this for like a little bit, and the fact of the matter is, I didn't get kicked out of that Discord call. It's still going. So whenever like someone wants to hop in, that's part of the Discord group, they can hop in at any time. And if I don't actually have like an active window on it, I won't even know where they're at. But alrighty, I think that's pretty much it. I think one of my biggest things I'm going to be doing early on in October is doing a lot of Pokemon stuff for sure. Like, like we got booster packs here. I would like to say for days, but I literally burned through a whole bunch of them. I didn't even talk about it actually this past a couple days. I opened up a whole slew of booster packs in the form of booster bundles for the 151 expansion. I pretty much opened up an equivalent of a booster box, which is like 36 booster packs. TLDR, it's a lot. But I got a lot of good pulls from it, though. Let me see. I'll actually, while I still have y'all, I'll go ahead and show you. So it's kind of ridiculous. Essentially, just for people who are viewing this, you can zoom in here and you see like different, like there's like 6 stacks of those. Um, you know, each of them is like literally 6 bundles each, so it's like it's a lot. TLDR, it's a lot. But we got a cool Dragonair like illustration. One of the air kid cards, Mew here. They also had like holographic like energy cards too, which is kind of an uncommon like thing they throw in there. I got Venusaur, the boys returns. Another Mew card. I got a Psyduck one. That Psyduck illustration is really cool, where it's just Psyduck and like the whole entire shot of it is just actually I can't, I don't know if you can really see it or not. It's a little too bright, but like the boys like right here, and oh sorry, maybe that's a little too close. But essentially it's just Psyduck with a really cool illustration of like him like at the stairs of wherever, honestly. But he's obviously holding his head, still got the headaches. I feel you, bro. Now I understand now. Alakazam. And I got another Alakazam, and then a Ninetales EX card as well as Arbok and Blastoise. Not the one that Sephi has though. Kind of sad by that. I was like, yeah, man, I was so close because like what she has is like a really cool illustration of Blastoise. But that's kind of it. And then I already talked about the ultra premium collection. I'll be opening that up, so hopefully we'll get something out of that, as well as the other like collections that we have here. But I did want to show off this promo card for Squirtle. If you order something from the Pokemon Center, this is kind of one of the first purchases and orders I've made with Pokemon Center, and they just offered up the free Squirtle promo card. So super cool, super cool. Yeah. So we'll be focusing on opening all that kind of stuff like later tonight if anyone wants to tune in. And we'll just kind of keep that on Twitch, and I'll just be posting that kind of stuff as far as the findings over on TikTok, I would say. But alrighty, guys, I think that's pretty much it. So we are starting it off with a pretty strong week into October as far as just a lot of things to do. So we'll work towards it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We'll go ahead and call it here. Guys, I appreciate everyone for tuning in for this episode. The DangIT Prodcast has been episode 476. My name is Justin. And thanks for watching, everybody. Take care of yourselves until then, everybody. See you guys next time. #bye, everybody.